head, thinking I'ma flip and fill my brain with lead. I'ma end my life without you. Baby, let's just see what these cows do. I'm not so perfect, baby, are you worth it? Come right here, hey. Girl, let me see you work it. Now we closing curtains, come right here. Don't you know you're so sexy, the way you move your body up and down. I wanna tell you how beautiful you are, but you're nowhere to be found. Hey, I tried to protect you from my hands, you left you. Broke my heart right there. All I do is stare. No, you never fucking care. I thought you were different, telling me what isn't. I was wrong. I never thought of you as ignorant. Now I'm getting lifted. You're in my soul. Baby, I'm about to die. Baby, wanna watch me die. Baby, don't you wanna know why? Didn't even try.
Perceives all things conjoined, the past, the future, and the present. Everything flows, and all is connected. His eye is not merely seeing reality, it is touching the truth.
wish I couldn't get enough of you. Not to mention I should fuck with you. You're thinking I'm in love with you. Now you're thinking I'm in love with you. Now you're thinking I'm in love with you. Hey, hey.
What you expect? Close homies arguing over connects. Falling out through a text. Now your inbox will be full of them threats. You down to die for respect. You down to lie for a check. All of these thoughts that I'm trying to forget. That's why I get the signs I get. Supposed to be close to me, acting suspicious. Making them stories, these bitches fictitious. Making me crazy, these people, they craving attention. It's funny to think all I wanted was friendship. Casualties of war, time to move forward. Call, get ignored, switch a number on my phone. Don't hit me up, I just wanna be alone.
I don't need to explain myself. No. And I don't need any expectations slowing me down right now. Why you looking over here? Let somebody love you. Don't nobody love you over here. 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 Don't nobody love you over here.
All these people in my life don't know how I'm still so lonely. Swear to God, they don't know me. Swear to God, they don't know me. Acting like they with the shit, but they just started to notice. Swear to God, they don't love me. Swear to God, they don't love me. Leave me alone, leave me alone. Y'all acting funny. Shit, my mom's acting funny. Shit, my pops acting funny. Leave me alone, leave me alone. I don't trust these motherfuckers. Leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. I wanna be alone.
King of the town, yeah, I've been that. You know I click clack, where you and your men's at? Where you and your men's at? Men's at?
All right. Welcome. Welcome back. Everyone's favorite weekly show. We never miss a week. Never happened before.
Never.
KW Vibes. Today, we got two wonderful guests. Thanks for joining us, Blake Johnston and my boy Devin St. Onge. How are you guys?
We're great.
We're doing good, man. I'm real excited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Tonight we'll be talking about friend groups, circles, different types of friends. You know, we all in high school, everyone's got a lot of friends, but like how many like real friends you have? We're gonna talk about that a little bit more and get into that type of area. So, you want to start us off, Dante?
Yeah, for sure. So first thing we're going to be talking about here is kind of going to structure this by different types of friends as we go through. I'll just give you a quick rundown, guys. We're going to go through like acquaintance friends, so sort of peers, good friends, argumentative friends, toxic friends, fake friends, and then just cover some random topics. First thing we're going to go over is acquaintance friends. So people like to pretend that everyone is their friend, right? I'm kind of guilty of this. Most people kind of are. Kind of our social climate. Griffin, you were saying before, you refer to someone as what? How did you explain it?
You may refer to someone as, you know, my buddy did this or my buddy did that, but you don't even know where they live or what they like on their pizza. Like, how close are you really with these guys, you know, or with these people that you refer to as close friends? Do you guys have friends like that, Blake and Devin?
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I'm guilty of that too. Being friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily terrible.
It's not a terrible thing, but it just like, you know, when you talk about your friends, you got like social media and like the amount of people you follow on social media that you never talk to.
For example, how many guys do you guys follow on, let's say like Instagram? How many people do you follow?
About like 600.
Yeah.
370.
I think I talked to
somewhere around there, right?
I think I talked to 50 people on a good day. Like
exactly, right?
Man, 50 people?
And maybe just like casual contact, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think with that, it's like sometimes people want to be your friends. Like when people are loving you, you know, like when something's going on, you know what I'm saying? People really like to be your friend, right? You know,
Yeah.
they would talk to you in the hallway, in class. But if it's like the opposite, if people really aren't feeling you, like something happens, some big league drama, you can definitely feel like people stop talking to you.
Or like the dirty looks you get.
Yeah, exactly. Like stuff like that. I mean, it's really kind of shitty. Like those acquaintance friends are kind of known for that, right? They're friends with you when you're being loved and they're not when you're not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Your clout.
Yeah, the cloud.
Just trying to get some clout by hanging around you, for sure. We're talking about acquaintance friends more like peers. So sort of like friends by convenience or by environment. Would you guys say you have like friends you only talk to at school, friends you only talk to at work, something like that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Like you were saying, calling people buddy and stuff. That's everyone at school to me. Hey buddy, hey pal. And you're just trying to make sure you get along with everybody, and you try to be their friend. And like at school, especially, because I mean that's the one place you're there for like 6 hours a day.
I actually have a funny story about this. I went up to my one friend, who I qualify as a friend because I actually, you know, do talk to him. And I was like, "Hey, buddy, why do you always get injured, right?" And the man was in a car crash. I didn't know about that shit. like that's kind of hard for me to be like,
Bro.
"What's going on, best friend? Why you in a cast?" You know, like, fuck, goddamn.
Yeah.
Everybody's buddy, eh? Do you think that's a good thing, bad thing, guys? What's your thoughts on that?
It's definitely a bad thing. I mean, it seems so fake, right? Like the warmth people give you, it's ungenuine, and it kind of makes real friendship less valuable, I think, in a way, because fake friendship or like, you know, acquaintanceship's a commodity, right? Like everybody wants to be everybody's friend, but in reality, like you can't really talk to those people at anything. Like they'll see you looking down the hallway, they won't even say anything, right? Like I feel like it definitely is a bad thing.
I mean, the thing is like no one likes to be a loner. No one likes to be like alone at like a lunch or something. No one wants to do that. So a lot of the time you find yourself, you know, going with people that you wouldn't necessarily qualify as like really good friends or like really close to you and you don't know much about, or maybe you don't agree with them on a lot of things. Like so obviously there's that aspect to it. Like you want a lot of people to like you, but maybe like stay away from being like, oh, this is my really good friend who you don't know shit about, you know?
Yeah, I think guys do less than girls. Like girls would be like, "Also my best friend," and it's like, dog, or like something. Like, now it's like, you know, they really throw that around. I think guys are just like that. Like, we don't really say like we don't really announce that we're friends
Yeah,
with people.
like,
It
this is
just
my
kind of
BFF.
happens.
You never hear that.
That was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
that was a random topic we were gonna get into, but we'll talk about it now. Guys don't really have best friends. Is that fair?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's kind of weird being like, oh, this is my best friend. It's definitely kind of girly.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's more to it. Like guys don't really like talking about like the deep stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that's kind of what separates us from girls and their best friends. Like I don't know, they talk about more genuine personal stuff. And I feel like that's really bad in a way, right? Like it kind of, there's not any place for guys to really vent.
yeah,
And, like, discuss their problems.
because like
yeah, that's sorry guys. I was just thinking about if you look at depression rates, and this is going kind of into the future here, but if you look at depression rates for men around 40 to 30, way high, right? Crazy higher than like crazy much higher than females, right? And
Yeah.
that's attributed mostly to a lack of ability to express themselves with their friends and stuff like that. It's actually been like looked at by psychologists a lot. So that's a real issue. How would you guys say we could combat that?
I feel like in like society, if we just kind of make it more acceptable to like open up. I don't really think it has to be like a big thing, like the whole like men should cry stuff like that. Like I feel like it doesn't have to be like
yo,
all the way. But I'm not saying I should have. I'm just saying that
Boys should cry too.
yeah. All I'm saying is just I think a lot of times guys don't really have support from friends. So I feel like if it was more socially acceptable to kind of open up to people.
Yeah. Like the stigma that guy's got to be the tough guy.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't let anything phase you.
Yeah.
You got to be a man.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
That fucks with people too.
talk more on that. Like, I've been trying to be more open with people because I was like, I didn't talk to anyone about any of my problems because, you know, the tough guy or whatever, right? So like,
Yeah.
I'll do like some things. Like I called my buddy after I thought I failed my exam to like, you know, vent out a bit. I feel like that actually helped a ton. So I would personally recommend that shit. Like, you want to be able to talk to people and, you know, when shit goes down and and know that you can talk to them about something without them like gonna snake you about it or something, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And you don't want to go to those fake friends either.
Yeah.
The ones that call you buddy.
Yeah, or just
listen,
acquaintance friends.
Yeah. So like in
Yeah.
friend groups, obviously you guys have a lot of friend groups, friend circles. Are there people that you just don't fucking like that you hang out with? Like just like
And like there's so many stupid reasons for it. Like you used to be friends with them, like
Yeah.
but sometimes like you'll be in a friend group with 5 people
yeah.
and none of them likes one person and they're there all the time.
Yeah, there's a guy in my grade. I won't say his name, but like I hang out with him this year. But the reason why is because like he was sort of in the group the whole time, and now like everyone went off to other schools and shit, and we're just chilling.
Yeah.
And then when it's just us one on one, you can't like you can get on nerves.
Yeah, I feel that, man.
Yeah, I can feel that.
It's
too,
weird though,
actually.
because like the way like groups are formed, it's like I'm friends with this guy, who's friends with this guy, who's friends with this, you know, right?
Yeah,
And like
get a little web going.
suddenly you're, you know, chilling with someone that you actually could give less of a shit about. Like suddenly it's like someone you really don't give a shit about.
That's fair. That's fair. So I mean, we talked a lot about sort of acquaintance friends so far. Let's move into good friends. What would you guys say makes a good friend? Like, how would you define it,
I
Blake?
think like people who kind of go above and beyond to make sure like you're actually doing well. Like if you're stressed or upset about something, they actually kind of inquire why and actually listen. Like a lot of times when like I'll tell somebody about something, they'll just say like, I had the same thing, bro. Like and it kind of makes it
That
sound like
sucks.
it's, you know? Yeah, exactly. That sucks. Like same thing happened to
Darn.
me. You know, instead of like posing actual solutions.
Or when you tell someone about like something shitty that happens to you and they treat it as a contest, you try and top it with something shitty that happened to them.
Yo, your leg got cut off? Both my legs got cut off.
Yeah, literally, exactly.
For sure.
Your
Okay,
girlfriend
so, like,
broke up with you? Both my girlfriends broke up with me.
No.
Yeah, you don't know the struggle.
Yeah, literally. Eh? So, like, what qualities would you guys look for in a good friend? You sort of been talking about this. What would you want them to do? If we're saying what
Yeah.
constitutes, you know, not a good friend, what would constitute a good friend then?
Probably just like we were saying, like go above and beyond, reach out. Like they can tell when you're in a shitty mood and
Yeah.
like react accordingly. Like, hey man, you good? Or like not just you good, like you want to talk about it sometimes, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So just kind of there for you.
How important is honesty to you guys? Like,
I think it's really important.
It's like the most important trait. I think.
yeah.
It's a necessity.
For sure.
If someone's gonna lie to you, then you know you can never trust them with shit, right? Like you never know.
And there's different kinds of lying too. Like there's like constant boosting. Like we got friends that tell like outlandish stories and like.
Yep. I know them. Yep.
Yeah. We've all got those friends, man.
Yeah.
We've all got those friends.
And you look at them and you're like, listen, I might believe you if you didn't lie to me 8 times last week. You know, like.
It gets to the point where I kind of find it personally insulting. It's like, do you think I'm not fucking stupid? Like, come on, man. Like, that'll piss me off.
Has anyone ever broke trust with you guys? Like, has anyone ever, like, you told some deep shit and they just, like, fucked you over for it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people break trust a lot, man. Like,
fine with, like, I've had ex-girlfriends and, like, I've had shitty friends. Like, I thought they were good friends. Like, go and try and get with that ex.
oh,
Yeah.
And that's, like, ultimate, like distrust.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That would.
That's like the lowest of the low there.
Yeah, like, that's,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
breaking bro code, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wrote down a couple things, sort of qualities that I would look for. I think my highest one would be time. I think time is kind of the most valuable currency anybody has, right? So if people are willing to spend their time with you.
Or time, I guess, put time into you. Like, if you got a problem and I actually, like, look into helping, that's what these guys are saying.
Yeah, for sure. What are you guys' thoughts on that? You thinking time is important, not important?
It's kind of hard to, like, because you have friends that, like, you might really like them, but, like, you also have friends that are really fun to hang out with, right? Like, if you have one friend that, like, you feel like you can open up to, and then your other friend is, like, James Bond, like, he's going to be a fun guy to hang out with.
Yeah, that is a good analogy. A lot of people would rather hang out with James Bond, not gonna lie.
Exactly, but I feel like that's kind of shitty, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So how do you balance that, right?
Like, you kind of get to weigh it out.
Or you got a friend that you constantly text, like, hey, you want to chill? You want to chill? Nah, man, I can't. Or nah, man, like, it's different if the person has to work and you're just asking at a shitty time. But, like, if you're texting someone like, yo, you want to chill this weekend? And they're like, they say yes.
Yeah.
And then Friday comes along and it's like, yo, I know we had plans tomorrow, but nah.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah,
I'm actually hitting up your ex-girlfriend that day, so listen, that's my bad.
True.
You guys have argumentative or stubborn friends, like people that you like are like actually good friends, but like you'll get into some heated arguments with?
Yeah, we definitely do, and it's like, it's almost like, why do they want to argue all the time? Like, I don't get it.
There's some friends like that. They thrive on that friend, like that. Their friendship thrives on the arguments because they like to battle each other, and then they take turns getting on, like, winning the argument.
I feel like
I have some of my closest friends. I have 2 friends actually. I feel like their relationship is just built on arguing about NBA players, man.
Oh, don't talk to me about that shit. Yeah.
Every single second, right? It's always like, oh no, LeBron's better. No, man, Curry's better. Whoever, whatever. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I think it can be good even to have like that common interest, that thing to talk about with another friend. But I do think that at a point, it's like, what is this relationship really built on, right? Is it really just arguing about the NBA, or is there something deeper here?
I feel like I won't argue with a friend I don't really give a shit about. Like, if I don't care about your opinion, I won't have an argument with you, you know?
That's true, but I feel like the argument, it kind of depends what it's about. Like, if it's about NBA players, it's pretty soft, it's not personal.
Yeah.
But if it's about, like, personal things, like something you've done or something you've said, or like a lifestyle choice, I feel like that's more personally insulting. You know, I feel like that's also a bigger issue.
Guys get over that shit fast, though, eh? You ever have an argument with a dude and then, like, the next day just be, like, chilling, like, nothing happened?
Yeah,
like,
you know how it is. Like, yeah, you just get over it real quick.
Just text them, like, later, like, 2 hours later, want to go to the gym? Yeah, you know, like, want to go lift some weights because we're angry at each other or some shit? Like,
We'll vent through pumps.
That's the way to do it right there.
Shout out to the gym, though. That's actually, like, a dope place to, like, vent out some fucking frustration.
Yeah, so Devin and I go to the gym together, and it's kind of a good spot just to, like, talk about shit, because, like, you're kind of high on yourself, you know, like, you're feeling yourself, you're improving yourself, you're doing something, stimulating your body and your mind, so it's kind of a good time to open up, pitch some ideas. Some of my best ideas have came from the gym.
Yeah. Oh, some of the greatest plans.
Oh, some good schemes came from the gym.
Some of the best moves. Some of the best moves.
No.
Yeah, we're staying away from certain topics today.
Of course.
uh, there'll be a Q&A at the end though, and I can't control that.
Oh, baby.
So we're gonna move on. I feel like we covered good friends and what that means, but toxic
Yeah,
friends.
for sure.
So a toxic friend for me is defined as someone who like you hang out with, and they might be actually a decent friend of yours, but they just kind of make fun of you or like shit you do all the time. And they're like every single little thing you do, like say you go to a concert, instead of being like, "Yo, that's a dope concert," like, "Why'd you go see that guy? That guy sucks." You know, it's like just little things that just fucking knock at you. Do you guys like have any examples of that like isn't a person or anything?
Yeah, I had this friend. He never went to our school or anything, but we used to hang out with him all the time. But he wasn't like that. He was sort of like a 6-year-old in the body of a 17-year-old.
What do you mean?
He just literally act like a child. For example, if you knock something over in his room, you're gonna get punched in the arm, like real hard. No, I'm not even lying.
Really?
You call him out on something, or he fucks up and you call him out, he just acts like a child and sort of sits there. No apology, no my bad man, just sort of sits there because he's the boss, apparently. Like shit like that. That's pretty toxic to me.
What about you, Blake?
I mean, I think there's like, I'm pretty good at weeding out toxic friends. Like, I'm a really confrontational person. Being shitty, I'll literally just be like, "What's the deal?" Like,
Don't I know that? Don't I know that?
I'm really quick to call people out, and it's just because I find it works.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but like, I definitely have a lot of toxic experience. Like, in grade school when I was younger, I had a really toxic friend for years. You thought I might know about this one, but like, it was awful. Like, it was so bad, and I didn't really understand it because I was so young. But I feel like that kind of experience made me like really quick to jump on toxic friends and either just call them out or drop them. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
So we were saying like often friends will joke around, and that's like pretty normal, especially with guys, I think. But how far would be too far for you? Like what sort of crosses the line?
Someone is like just being a dick. Like what makes someone just a friend who's joking versus like actually a dick, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that depends on like each individual friend group, right? Because you could have some people that can throw out some nasty roasts, and the other people just take it and laugh. Or you'll have people that'll throw out a nasty roast, and everyone's like, "Man, what the fuck?" Like those groups. Well, my friend group earlier in high school, like we had like Graydon, our friend Graydon. He's a real trooper. He took so many roasts because he's a quarter black, so they would touch on that. He would just take it. He would just take it, and he would laugh. Every once in a while, I'd be like, "Man, that's too far." But I think when people touch on like things that you can't change, for example, like that,
I would agree.
That's a little too far.
That's when it sort of crosses the line.
Yeah, definitely. Or like they know you're bothered by something, like an insecurity or something like that, and they go off on it. I feel like that's like way too far. When your intent is to be hurtful to a friend, it's like, what are you doing? Like,
that's not a good. That's not a good friend.
For me, the worst thing that could happen is not actually anything like negative. So pointing out something negative, it's when they take something that like is positive to you, so something you like to do or something you enjoy, and then they just shit on it like nonstop, and until you like.
It happens. There's like minor occurrence. Just like I'm a Los Angeles Lakers fan.
Yeah.
And, like the last 4 years, the Lakers have been trash.
Fuck
and
the
like
Lakers.
people, they're like, "Yo, like, what's the deal with that loss last night?" And it's like, shut up. Man. It's like championships. Things like that are fine, but yeah, if somebody's just like I want to go into business, so if they're like business school is a waste of time, that's gonna kind of piss me off. Like that's genuinely just like it's something I'm passionate about.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about going to business school. Like,
yeah, it's like,
business school is stupid. Like,
now I'm doubting myself. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Like funny joke, but
No, for sure. Yeah, anything you kind of feel passionate about. We were talking about that on our passion projects episode. It's like, really, if you're going to be going into that, I think that's a little too far.
And that kind of transitions into like friends that are like not really supportive of your shit.
Yeah.
So you ever like, it sucks when you like tell someone something you're excited about and they just like get that look on their face like, why are you doing that? Like, you know, why are you spending money on that? It's like, well, I want to. Like, like fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have people who have been like not supportive of shit before?
Oh, definitely. I mean, obviously, like sometimes like our parents aren't supportive of some shit. But friend-wise, yeah, like you can definitely tell when people are being genuine, right? Like if I'm gonna do something and somebody's just like there's real consequences for that. Don't do it. I can kind of feel where they're coming from there. But if they're just like, don't do that, stupid, and they don't really give a reason, I feel like that's just being shitty.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to do it because it'll make them look bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I
For
feel
sure.
like people are okay at being supportive these days of shit. Like it's getting better, but there's been times where like anything you do, you turn on an artist, like you turn on some music, everyone's like, "Why the fuck do you like that music?" It's like, bro, it's a good song. Just like listen to it for more than 2 seconds. Fuck.
That's happened a lot.
Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
It happens all the time. Like
Hmm.
every time someone takes Ox, probably like, what the fuck is this?
What is this, man?
This
Well,
came out in
this is trash.
2010, man. This is old.
Yeah.
This is old news, man.
It's actually like a little fucking mini game. Like if you can play a song that no one cusses you out for when you get the aux cord, oh fuck, you're going places in life.
It's like, what I'll do is I'll just play shit that's like I know is like trash and just like see if anybody says further and further and further. And then like see how far I can go. But that stuff's light. But when it gets kind of personal, that's when it kind of pisses me off.
I mean, Blake, you touched on this a bit. You said you were pretty blunt with people who make you feel like shit, like pretty blunt with people. How do you think that?
Yeah.
Do you think that's like good? Do you think that's like the way to go about shit?
It depends. Like with confrontation, the person you're confronting usually kind of becomes uncomfortable. Like I'm really good in bad situations. Like I'm really confident. So
You just don't stop, man.
yeah, exactly. Like I think sometimes it can be bad. Like I could just come off as just kind of arrogant. But at the same time, I feel like it's just kind of the way to do it. But not for everybody. Like if you're kind of shy, confronting people is not going to be your thing. But if you can, I think it's the way to go.
Arrogant, alpha, words they mean they mean different things. But you say you should just cut talks with people, like if they don't change, if you confront them, you should just get rid of them.
100%. Yeah, I feel like we give people too many chances. Honestly, like our time's limited. You shouldn't really be giving a million chances, especially like if you have other friends. Like if it's like your best friend or something like that, then sure. But if it's like a new friend and they're just kind of giving you shit or they're just being not good friends, I just cut them off. Like, and I feel like if more people did that, there'd be less fake and toxic friends. You gotta cut it off.
That's some real talk right there, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever been forced out of a friend group? You ever been like some guy just like tries to make you feel like a piece of shit or like the odd man out?
Yeah, actually, I have a pretty recent example. I had like a friend group in the summer. None of them went to the same school, and it kind of started from confronting people. Like one person just started not liking me, and I told the other and the other and the other, and I just kind of left. Like I didn't want to get kicked out, but I kind of knew that I just wasn't really being respected in the group. So sometimes I don't think I've ever got to the point where I got kicked out, but I've definitely felt like I've had to leave a friend group before.
So it was more of a gradual thing. It wasn't like hey, like don't hang out with us anymore.
Yeah, that's what happened. But no, I definitely like you can kind of feel when you're wanted and when you're not wanted. And if a friend group makes you feel unwanted, they're almost kicking you out without actually saying it, right?
I mean,
Yeah, like in middle school, I had some friends and we were all going to different high schools, or at least I was going to a different high school than these guys. And the summer hit, like I just stopped getting the text to come over and all this shit, and it stings, man. It does sting. But
You're like, which one? Like, which one of them? Like, it makes you start questioning and like accusing people, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
like you're like, these people liked me. What about this guy? Maybe this guy was like, or whatever. Like,
it makes you start questioning the whole time. It's like, well, were they ever really friends with me?
Yeah,
that's a big one.
For sure.
Actually, a random topic here is friends part ways. Like you'll not be with the same people you're with your entire life. That's just how shit works.
You have a story about that?
Yeah, well, I actually do have a bit of a story. My best friend from grades 1 to 8, I don't talk to anymore, and nothing bad happened. We didn't like have a fight. We didn't like say fuck you to each other. We just stopped talking, and it was on no bad terms at all. Like, which is it's so weird to me to think back to it. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Hold up, we were like really good buddies. We hung out every day. What happened?
Yeah, that sucks.
That happened to you guys? You not talk to anyone anymore? That like.
Yeah. Like Devin and I both went to McGregor, so like it's kind of weird because like you meet a bunch of new people, and then like more than half of them go to other schools.
Over half, yeah, like a third.
Yeah. So that definitely happened in that case for me.
Yeah, no, shit. I had this friend, like we started being like best buds in grade 9, and we lived like down the street, so we just go to each other's houses, play Xbox and shit. And then we never fought. Nothing ever happened. We just sort of parted ways. He started working a lot, me as well. shit like that. It wasn't like there was no beef or anything. It was just sort of like life
Yeah.
took us in two different directions.
You ever
I
like
think the other
you ever like question like calling that person up? Like sometimes I'll just like look at my phone and be
Yeah.
like, I should call this guy, you know, or like I should talk to this person.
You know, it's actually funny you say that. I was at a party and this guy walks in and we like he just happened to be sitting down beside me, and he says like, "Man, we should show more. Like, what happened?" And
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
What happened? Like, and ever since then we've actually been chilling. So yeah,
that's sweet actually. What the heck? That's awesome.
happy ending.
Dante, you had a bit of a story about being forced out of friend groups. What happened with that, buddy?
Yeah, so it wasn't more of a forced out of friend groups, but more of just friend groups changing, right? In grade 9, I had a really tight group of friends. For 10 of us, we were just really tight. We hung out like all the time. Went like did stuff together, you know. Went to like events and stuff.
Went to
I
like
think
Tight and
gradually-
Bright and all the grade 9 shit.
You know, I never went to Titan Bright, but I wish I did.
Yo, what's
Or
the
do
one?
I?
It's
I
like
don't know.
all white night or whatever. I never went that shit.
Whiteout? Was it Whiteout? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it just changes over time. And again, like nothing really bad happened, right? Just I think people started to stop talking to each other and just kind of fell apart. And I think that's natural. That happens over time, right? But then on the flip side of that, I have a tight group of friends as well that I've known since grade 9, and we've stayed really tight through the high school years and hopefully through the future. And we'll see what happens, I guess. But yeah, just talking about friend groups.
Here's a biggie random topic. Do you ever feel like
Yeah.
you're talking to people like we were talking about like convenience friends, but like you're talking to them when there's actually a lot more dope people you could be talking to, but they're like not convenient to be friends with. You know, maybe they're on another school or like far away, or you know, it's a mish to ever talk to them. Like, you ever feel like that? Like some of the people you're chilling with like aren't obviously your top choice.
Well, it depends on what you mean by dope people. Like,
I feel like people you want to get to know better.
Like,
Oh yeah, and then usually in those situations, like I don't have one sort of like I do have like the group of friends that I hang out with mostly, but I mean, like there's people that I get along with outside of the friend group that I mean, just because they don't hang out in the friend group doesn't mean I can't be friends elsewhere. And I feel like that like goes along with like your personal development, like your own tastes change, right? So you could be friends with this one person for so long, and then a new friend comes along that you get along with better or whatever.
Sure, or have more interest with or something.
Exactly.
How important do you think that is sharing common interests? Do you think it's important?
I think it's one of them. Like, it's pretty important because, I mean, for example, if like Blake like country music and I like rock and roll, and we sat like we were talking about music earlier, we just
then you
sat down
play
and started
shit rap, right? And then you play grum.
Yeah.
You settle on.
like some country music. I couldn't like
Yeah.
right away. That's a conflict of interest, right?
Sure.
That's, for lack
I
of
think
better.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you definitely need to share some commonalities. You know, either whether that's the school you go to, so you can talk about that. Maybe you have to have some sort of talking points. Two random people can't be friends.
So at this point in the podcast, we're gonna move on to fake friends, which I believe you guys wanted to talk about a bit. So
Yeah.
as by a fake friend, it's like everyone talks about being nice and not excluding anyone, right? But when one of your like friends doesn't invite you to some shit, or one of your friends like goes behind your back or does some shit, and or one of
That
your
hits home,
friends
man.
like who you actually consider like a good friend does some, you know, shit that really proves that maybe they don't really give a shit about you. Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, what do you have examples of that type of thing?
Yeah, I've had friends who have like really close friends, and they come and I hear like another person in the friend group come and be like, "Yeah, this person was talking some mad shit," and I didn't know how to react. Like, of course, you were shocked, but it's sort of like a huge stab in the back because you tell this person like a lot of close shit, like personal shit, and they come and they just give you the old boot from behind. Essentially, is what it feels like.
What you, Blake?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fake friends is definitely it's kind of something I'd watch out for. I feel like the worst fake friends are the kind of low key fake friends. Like they're almost making effort to be fake friends. Like it seems like they're going out of their way. Like you tell them something, they tell other people something. Like they almost seem like they're friends like for gossip. Like
I'm sorry, buddy. I did. I told you I was sorry about that.
No, but
Yeah. I'm sorry, boss.
Podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, like, or just I feel like sometimes good friends do things that kind of make them seem like fake friends. Like it's hard to identify them sometimes, right? Like nobody's perfect, but at the same time, like I don't know. Those are the ones that hurt, though. Definitely, when you think somebody's a good friend and they do something really bad.
I feel like a lot of the time it's like a sense of like when someone tells you something, whether it's like something you should be talking about or not. And like, so maybe some people just suck at that. Maybe some people just like can't tell when you're actually being serious with them, and then they'll go talk about some shit. But like, I feel like if you're having like a late night conversation with someone, or like, you know, you guys are both fucked out of your mind, and you're just having a deep convo, and that person goes and tells everyone about the no, never. Someone goes and tells everyone what you said, like that shit could actually like fucking hit home pretty hard. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, man, that hurts. That hurts. So just moving on here, I would say that personally I see a difference between sort of girls and boys. In that girls, I feel like might have more of this backstabbing type of nature. Like you know the classic, like this sounds really sexist, guys, but you heard the classic, like, oh, girls always like hanging out with a friend and that one friend, I hate her. You know what I mean?
And they'll tell you about that too. They're like,
You know
yo, how's that girl you're hanging with? Oh, I fucking hate her. It's like,
yeah. Go hang out the next day.
Hold up. At least
Which
guys
guys
are
feel
generally
like
more
that?
blunt. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's more of a desire to be blunt with guys. I mean, it's almost like girls kind of like that. Like they sometimes it kind of seems like they genuinely enjoy it, while guys usually don't. Like you just kind of want someone to play some 2K with, you know, go to the gym with. You don't really like to deal with drama.
Yeah.
So I feel like that doesn't really happen to guys as much because we're better at weeding that out. And like guys talk, I think a lot more too. Like if I was with a group of guys, good friends, and somebody else is there, and I leave, and they're like, "Yo, fuck Blake." My friends are gonna tell me.
Yeah.
You know? I'm so I would look like, "Hey,
I heard you said
what's the deal with that?"
What's up,
you know?
man? Yeah. No, retweet. Yeah, that's true.
And then the last topic we want to talk about, fake friends, but before we have some open time, was do you have anyone who would be known as like using someone for like car, food, school notes, that type of thing? Like, I feel like it's more common girl to guy, but like obviously it happens. Like, you guys have any examples of that shit?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like especially with like cars and stuff. Like people like cars. That's kind of a commodity in high school. Or not like everybody wants it. At least, it's really desirable. So I feel like it's kind of. It can be definitely rough for that. Like with school notes, I feel like there's more of kind of a community vibe. Like students kind of try to stick together, right?
That's pretty fair.
But yeah, or like buying food too. Like that's always kind of weird. Like when your friends buy you food, it's I don't know. It didn't.
I don't
doesn't
like
really
that.
happen to me
Yeah,
much
me
now.
neither.
But like in grade 10 and 11, like especially when they buy you like a burrito or something, it's like $12. It's
Yeah.
like wow.
I don't like owing
Yeah, I
people
don't-
money. That shit makes me feel
No.
bad.
No.
Yeah, definitely.
I still owe you $15, Griff.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Yo, fucking fake friend looking ass motherfucking buddy looking ass.
Whoa.
I'm joking. But
Sure.
and
I
then
know
with
personally, I got a car. So my birthday is really early in the year, and yeah, I mean, I got a car for all of grade 11 and then all of grade 12 so far. I don't think I've experienced it too much, but definitely a little bit, guys. I mean, you know, people, hey, where are we going for lunch? It's like, yeah, who are you? You know, like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I hard mooch rides home from you sometimes.
do. That's all right.
Listen, fuck the
Yeah.
bus. The bus is not a fun thing to take, in my opinion. Like city bus.
Yeah, walking too. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely it's hard. Like people like getting like driving for lunch, getting drives home and everything. And I feel like as long as you're just kind of open with it, like you just say like,
Yeah.
can you drive me home instead of just kind of like just hopping in the car and like.
It's
Things
hard
like that.
too, because like I don't mind it really. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, bro, like I'll drive you home. But if people expect it, you know, it's almost like,
We were talking
just ask for it.
we're talking a bit about acquaintance friends, and do you feel like your acquaintance friends just in case you need something ever? Like I feel like I'm a little guilty of this. I'm friends with everyone in my class these days because what if I need notes? like I'm gonna just be honest. Like why do I be an asshole to anyone? Because what if I get in a project with them? I don't want it to be awful. I don't like so. It's almost like everyone's your friend in that way, just so like you don't get fucked by them not liking you or whatever.
I think there's a difference too. I mean, being a decent person, you should probably just be nice to everybody in general, right?
Fair enough.
I don't think there's necessarily a problem with that.
The goal of achieving something. I mean, no. But like obviously with girls and guys, like we said, this is more common. Term "pussy whipped" comes to mind, which is often used to describe a male who starts hanging out with a female and changes the way he acts, changes the people he hangs out with, changes like a lot about his life, and often not in a great way. So like, I mean, I know people who have done this. I'm not gonna call them out, but they know who they are. You guys have any examples of that? Like anyone who's changed drastically?
Yeah, okay. My buddy, I'll name drop. His name is Reed.
Shit.
Oh man, Reed started dating this girl. I won't say her name, but she goes to school anyway. But she was interesting, and by interesting I mean fucking nuts. And it changed him in the sense that when he hung out with us, he was just constantly bitching
Really?
about how nuts this chick was. Like, and when he was when he would get back from hanging out with her, that's like all we would hear about, and he would sort of be accustomed to being careful with his words. So like you could tell because he was a heavy roaster. He was the one that would just ignite all the roast sessions and everything. And when he would come back from hanging out with this girl, he would be oddly quiet in that sense. So like he wouldn't make fun of everybody, no jabs or anything like that. And I think I was the only one that noticed. But
Saying he was neutered or
yeah,
like
I'm not gonna lie, yeah,
got a little
That's
neutered to you.
interesting, man.
we castrated him.
I feel like
That sort of goes into. Sorry, Griffin, go ahead.
what's the line between just like doing something for someone because you like them or care about them and like being quote unquote pussy whipped? Like
The frequency, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or like if they never do something for and you just do everything for them, right? And it can be like
Literally,
little
yeah.
things, like like when there's a handout in class and somebody's like, "Hey, can you get that for me?" Like the next time you ask them, and if they ask you like over and over again, you gotta kind of like, lay the law down,
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like frequency and also like kind of equality, like who's like if it's a split or like if just one person's doing everything for the other person.
I feel like it's a respect thing, kind of. Like if someone gives me
Yeah.
a ride and you're just like, oh, see ya, dude. Like I feel like you should actually like thank them for that shit and like actually like
Yeah,
let them know like that. Yeah. But there's some people who would just like take it and be like, take it and leave it or whatever. And I feel like that's like the line. Once you're doing shit and they're like not even grateful, it's kind of expect it. That's when it's like bad.
Yeah, that's when it starts to turn toxic.
Yeah, definitely.
Falls under that category, I think.
For sure.
And
I think
then
our last sort of random topic here, we're gonna say, is like acting differently around different people. So I think most people, act differently around certain circles, whether you're around like maybe your family, certain friend group,
administration
or Okay, go on.
Oh shit.
You guys have any examples of that? What do you think of that? People acting differently around different people.
I see that all the time.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that kind of factors popularity thing too. Like sometimes, like I don't want to be too explicit here, but like, when somebody thinks that somebody's really popular around, they're gonna act kind of different. Trying to make more jokes, seem kind of funnier.
Are you saying other people will act different around them, or that popular person will act different?
the people who
like
act
when
different against them.
when they're trying to impress somebody,
Yeah.
like it could be like somebody's body, it could be like a girl, it could be anybody really. Like I have one really good friend that kind of treats me the same no matter who they're around. They always kind of put me over the other person just because we're really good friends, like no matter who it is. But I think a lot of times, like I've experienced this a lot, like sometimes my friends, like if they want to impress somebody, they'll just kind of throw me in the gutter,
Yeah.
I've been experimenting or thinking about this a lot this year. It's like it's not about being fake. It's about being adaptable to your situation. So obviously, you're not throwing around f-bombs around your parents. I mean, maybe you are, but like all the time. You're not roasting people if they're like sensitive people. Generally, is what I try to avoid. People who are gonna get pissed off if you roast them. Try not to roast them too much anymore. But then like sometimes I'll talk to someone and we'll just be chilling. And then, I'll talk to someone else with them, and it's like, wait, who the fuck are you? Like, who the fuck am I? Like some people are just like bad influences on people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think like being a bad influence too is also a big thing with friends. Like, it kind of depends how convincing you are. too, right? Like one of my friends was driving me home, and this person was driving slow in front. So I was just like passing him in the other lane. It wasn't a passing lane, it was like a residential street. And they just center. They just shoved her in the other lane past him. And I just got him to do it again. And like at the end of the ride, like when they dropped me off, they're like, dude, you're a pretty bad influence. And I'm like, whatever, bro, it's pretty sick.
Listen, your alpha nature is rubbing off on people, Blake.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag spread the alpha.
Yeah, we're oh man.
So yeah, we're gonna wrap up the main part of the podcast and get to the question and answer. But is there any other things you guys wanted to cover, or any stories?
Anything you want to say on anything about friends, you guys?
Anything on friends? I feel just like, so for me, a big thing that's happening is I'm going to the University of Windsor next year, right? It's like 3.5 hours away, so it's definitely kind of hard to like, it's gonna be hard to maintain friendships, right? So like right now, I'm just kind of trying to decide who's actually worth the time. Like honestly, you know, like I've had friends I've been friends with for like 10 years, but if they're not good friends, I'm not gonna try to maintain the friendship. So I feel like it's kind of made me realize, like I give a lot more thought to who's actually good friends and who's not good friends. And I feel like if everybody kind of stopped and thought about that, there'd be a lot less issues with fake friends, toxic friends, and everything like that. So I feel like people should just try to improve themselves by improving their friend group, and like really just kind of pay attention to that, because having fake friends sucks, and it's kind of easy in high school just to let it slide, but you're gonna have that fake friend for 4 years. So I feel like people should kind of crack down on it more.
I think paying attention is like a really important one. It's like if you don't pay attention to your friends, then you're gonna have to rely on them telling you when shit's going south for them, or the opposite. And I mean, sometimes people don't want to just outright say like, "Hey, man, this is going real shit for me," or they don't want to like boast about like or flex on something that's real sick, which is rare. But
I think I'd say if someone is bailing out on hanging out with friends a lot, there's probably some shit going down. They're probably stressed out from school, probably something like that. Like, even if it's just like have a conversation with them and ask them if they're good. You know, what's good? Like, are you okay?
I try to ask. Friends like, hey.
I think that's what being good friends is all about. Just going above and beyond and asking the hard questions.
Going out of your way to see what's going on with them.
All right. So at this point, we're gonna end the main podcast. We're gonna continue on with the question and answer. There's gonna be some wonderful things in there, I'm sure.
Okay. And it's just
the chat's been a little.
Haven't really been reading it. How are we doing tonight, boys?
Christian doesn't hold back, man.
How are we doing?
All right, how are we doing tonight, chat? What are we saying in chat? Oh God, Christian Iveson, why have we not been yet? So we're not going to go into much detail, Blake. You can talk about it if you want. About last week. That's a no. That's a no. Okay. That's a no. That's a hard no.
We'll avoid that topic then.
I'll just say I think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Man.
Listen. Find a new podcast on that one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Find a new podcast on that one. All right.
I'm just gonna scroll back. I haven't even been reading it here.
Pussy Whipped is thinking about doing it consistently. All right, that's fair enough, Max. That's fair enough. If you do multiple favors, yeah. So it's like the consistency that becomes a thing.
Yeah.
All right, let me scroll all the way up here.
I pretend to be people's friends so I can get their notes in class when I skip. That's bare specs, Christian. I know you do.
Hilarious.
That is not uncommon. Bro, I don't burn bridges anymore. I'm trying to be better at that. What do you guys think about burning bridges? Like, if some shit goes down, like, do you just try and I just try and avoid the situation?
What the fuck does that mean?
What, jelking?
Yeah.
Not something I'm gonna Google.
That. Yeah, you should just Google that one. Guys.
Christian's really self-conscious, so he's working on something for himself, and I can support that.
True. Okay, I respect it.
Christian says, "I heard Blake is an alpha. I heard that too.
Yeah,
I heard that too."
Once again, Blake, I'm sorry about fucking spreading shit. That's my bad.
Dude, it's all good, man.
Yo, any suggestions on that one, Blake?
Devin on Snapchat?
Oh my
god. Sorry, I think we're lagging out a bit there. Didn't hear much there. No. Yes, it's the Blake Johnson. I mean Johnston.
Oh. Oh yeah. Let's look at you.
Girls read into everything too much. Fair enough.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
That's a point.
Boys take things at face value.
Sexist.
I mean,
Guys things at face value.
I'm very much not sexist at this point. So like, I feel like I can say things without them like because I have a presense of being not sexist. I can say something. You know, like I don't go around splurting shit. So if I say something like, I can be like, well, this is like a ton of proof of. I have black friends. I'm joking, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm just joking. Yeah.
This guy really just say I have black friends. Oh my goodness.
We're not hard exposing anyone by name, Brophy. But
Brophy, the example I gave of the good friend who puts me over other people, that's that guy. So backs to him.
Shout out to that guy.
Shout out to that guy.
Step by step, please. Let's get specific. Christian, listen, you're working on your thing. We're working on our thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good luck with that.
Does Corbett know you feel that way?
Oh man, he's probably working right now.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah. Got a nice car though.
Oh yeah, who's Ram? Pride, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Thanks for being on the podcast, by the way, boys.
Oh, dude, no problem, man. We've been planning this for like a month and a half. The timing seems a little
little suspicious again.
It's not. It's not.
It's really not.
So yeah.
I thought it was a fun one. I don't know.
I thought it was
Oh,
pretty
yeah, definitely. I feel like this is a topic that I kind of wish more people talked about. It's something I talk about a lot, and I feel like if more people talked about it, we'd be all better off. Like literally everybody on the planet, I think, would be better off if we kind of open up more about this issue.
Like I think people just need to accept that you can't be friends with everybody.
Yeah, fair
Exactly.
enough.
Yeah.
There will be people that you don't like, and they
Don't
will
like
not
you. Yeah.
for no fucking reason. Like for no fucking reason. But other than you just don't fit on together.
Yes, you should have a deep cut talk with him, Aiden. That is a serious issue.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Joking and
Yeah, anytime someone is driving a joke into the ground, you might want to talk to them about it.
You might want to keep this.
Yeah, confront him after, man.
Anytime you're eating fresh, getting cash. Even time you're taking an L, like that's when something could be
Oh
wrong.
no.
Oh yeah.
Yo, I actually kind of want to talk about that. So I'm just gonna be real here. What about like someone who like knows you're not really good friends and you don't know they're good friends, but you guys just kind of hang out? Like I feel like that happens sometimes too, where you're like, yeah, I don't really like that guy. And I got told last week, they're like, yo, that guy you hang out with doesn't really like you. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like,
Okay.
this shit,
I know who you're talking
there's
about.
nothing fooling me. There's nothing fooling me here. Like, is that better or worse?
I feel like it is kind of better. Like if as long as both of you are kind of acknowledging it.
Yeah.
That's kind of a special friendship, when you both don't like each other, but you still hang out. Like there's a connection there.
somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere deep down, that's meaningful.
I feel like like as long as neither of you actually care, like I don't know.
Yeah, as long as you understand it, like from both perspectives, I feel like it's fine. Yeah.
Fair enough. Like,
I would agree.
so what we're saying is that don't be everyone's buddy, but pretend to be everyone's buddy, but let them know you're only pretending to be their buddy.
Yeah.
Listen. When I say buddy, I don't mean shit by that. Listen.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm to be honest with you. You mean nothing to me.
I don't think there's a problem with
Yeah.
with having like a bunch of buddies, like a bunch of acquaintances and whatever, like peers, and like being just like not very great friends. I don't really see a problem with that.
I feel like you should be neutral with everyone if you can. Everyone you can be neutral with, you should be neutral with, just for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of people try to be like a little above neutral for like no really good reason. Like they try to be like, this is
That's
my.
true. Yeah, I mean, I get why you want people to like you, but I feel like you shouldn't kind of make it seem like you're friends if you have no intention to be friends.
Man,
almost like leading them on with friendship.
someone held a party a couple weeks ago, right? And I'm like, I know that person, but do I really know that person? Like, like,
Know of them.
like, yeah. Am I gonna message them like, hey, it's me, your boy, what's good? It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna. Remember that time we were at that camp together? No, you don't go to camp? Oh, must have been.
Oh,
Must have just seen you walking by then. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. That's funny. Swede, you steal loot. Ridiculous. Hey, who saw that? Who was watching Ninja last night?
Yeah, Bear Specs with Drake.
Yeah, definitely watching that.
You weren't?
Awesome.
Yeah. Drake was playing Fortnite with Ninja with like Travis Scott and all them.
Should play PUBG.
One of those
Oh yeah,
potato
just
mics.
fuck Fortnite,
bitch, should play
yeah,
PUBG.
PUBG just makes me want to kill myself.
PUBG.
That's how you separate the men from the boys.
Dude, it takes so long to get good at a video game, and I feel like if you're not good at PUBG, it's ass. Like, you have to be like actually somewhat decent to have fun.
True, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you're just landing pachinko, it takes like an hour to land. You know, you run in, you try to grab a gun, you pick up a vest. Some idiot with a shotgun runs in behind you. Oh, queuing up again, boys.
Yeah,
You can't land in those spots, man. You can't
exactly.
You can't land pachinko, of course.
You have to adapt to your
Yeah.
situation.
straight up Poliana. Best spot.
Really?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
now that you called it out on this podcast with our million viewers, everyone's gonna land there, so now
Yeah,
it's the worst
everyone's
spot.
Somewhere else now.
Yeah. About Christian, way too hard to expose him. Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can try to expose me, but like, anything sus I do, I kind of just tell people I did it. Like, I don't really care at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like if you're gonna do something, like expect people are gonna call you in and like know what's up.
Very
Yeah.
rarely I can get exposed, but if you expose me, I generally will just laugh about it because, like, that's the other thing is that like we talked about like all these jokes and shit. I don't honestly care at this point, but I know some people do care. Like this isn't like a me whining about people bullying me or some shit. Like I don't care, but I know some people do care, and like some people will actually get to them if you say some shit to them that like is gonna throw them off. How do you
Yeah,
think? Do you guys think you're hard? Do you guys think you can like handle some good roasts?
Yeah, definitely. As long as you
would
can
actually-
push back, like I feel like you're good. You know.
I
Yeah.
feel like I don't really care. I think it's just got to be like a respect thing. Like if you're just getting roasted by some dude you hardly know, it's like,
Yeah.
who are you, man? Right?
Yeah, like if somebody just comes up to you randomly and starts roasting you, like it's gonna kind of
Like,
piss me
whoa,
off.
man.
Like it's not good, right?
I feel like you got to earn it, right? Like you got to be like decent friends with someone.
Is
and
it
then
weird
you
to
roast.
me
It's
that like
whatever.
the funnier the shit is, the more I'm okay with it? Like if it's a good roast, like if it's funny as
True.
shit, but it actually was like hardcore, like hits on me, I'm just like, yo, that's funny though. like, like-
Dunking 2K on you, you gotta kind of stop and be like, that was fucking sick. You know?
yeah.
Like, man, all right.
It's like, damn, that was fucking good, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's
Yes, it's my learning disability, Jake, and it's insulting for you to bring that up, to be honest, and I'm
Yikes.
offended.
That's
That hurts,
sensitive,
that
man.
hurts.
That's like a fake
Chicken
friend.
brain.
Yeah. Saying Jacob CC to that, goddamn.
Okay.
So, what we've been trying to do, I talked to some people, got some feedback about the podcast. They said it was shit. Stop, quit. No, but like legit.
I've been hearing the same thing. I've been hearing the same thing.
No, what they said was just keep it shorter. Just like don't repeat the same shit. I think we did a better job of that tonight. I think it
Yeah, it
was.
was pretty.
I think we didn't
kept
cover
that
too many of
pretty
the same
short, but-
topics. Felt like it was
That's
good.
true. Yeah, good pacing.
Yeah, good pacing. So if nothing else is happening in chat, we're probably just gonna end. Unless you guys want to say anything.
Just be a good friend.
Yeah, be a good friend. Don't be shitty.
Don't be an asshole. All right.
Yeah,
Words to live by.
exactly.
All right.
That's
Respects.
Fair enough.
Thanks for
Yeah.
watching.
Thanks
Later.
for watching,
Thanks for
guys.
watching, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Oh yeah.
See you next week.